Hey guys, how's it going? Muthurajah here, back with a new video lesson for you all. Today I want to talk about bass soloing tips. Now I might make this a series of lessons as well, but it won't be as regularly updated. I don't want to focus too much on just bass soloing because that's not what we primarily do. But I figured it'll be nice to talk about how we can approach bass soloing and playing solos and not sounding like a bass player. Alright, now one of the weakest links with the bass player, this was one of my biggest problems when I started playing the bass, is just the ability to just play a melody, right? A lot of bass players tend to play melodies way too much like a bass player, in the sense that it constantly has to have a sense of groove to it. It has to be in time. It has to have a sense of a pocket, and the melody is always very harsh because of how we dig in and how we play like a plank of wood. And a lot of that perspective changed for me when I started listening to Jaco. In particular, the album with Joni Mitchell, two albums with Joni Mitchell actually, Hejira and Mingus. These two albums for me is one of the greatest examples of melodic bass playing. It's not about the soloing chops or vocabulary and all that, but just playing good melodies. That is one of the things that I find it's just missing in most bass players. Alright, so what we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to talk about motifs and melodic motifs in particular. Now, a motif is basically a small idea you take which has a lot of musical statement or substance to it. All right, like Amazing Grace, the motif to it is this motion. So the motifs are very simple and very strong. Another song where you can really hear a good sense of motif is My Favorite Things from The Sound of Music. Right? Very simple motifs, but very strong. And the cool thing with this melody is that it doesn't have the third, so that's why the third verse in the tune goes to a major tonality. So it's a very nice color as well, but the melody is so simple, the hook of it is so simple. Alright, so the first thing I want to share with you guys is taking one melodic motif. Okay, let's take something simple like, right? So E, F sharp, G. So I want you to play those three notes in every way possible, and I want you to make them as smooth as possible. Or. Right, so try out every articulation possible. Sliding, hammer on, pull offs, and then playing a note and sliding into the same note. This is a very commonly used technique in blues. Or like, okay, so take small melodic fragments like this and then add a fourth note to it. Right, so take these four notes and just try to milk melodic musical ideas out of it. We are not trying to develop big ass chops. We're not trying to play like Hadrian Furrow or John Patitucci. What we're trying to do is develop a good sense of control and ear to play melodies on the bass. And once you feel like you've milked enough, add a fifth note, a C sharp maybe, which gives us the E major pentatonic. Okay, what I don't want you to do is like, no, play the note, let it sit, play the next, play the next. Okay, so physically control with your ear, and then just keep it smooth. So take small motifs like this and then just keep building on it. Now, one of the reasons I didn't listen to a lot of jazz albums, the old one, is because what I realized is what I found myself listening to over and over again were records with very singable melodies which I can sing at any given time. That's one of the reasons I love John Coltrane a lot. All his melodic ideas or melodies, the heads to the tune, were very motifically driven, very easy to remember. That's the beautiful part of it, but that doesn't make it easy to play, however, because of the harmony underneath. But that's the idea, and you can take any number of songs. If you take, let's say, whatever, that's I can't remember what it's called. Do a female, but again, it's very motifically driven. So instead of trying to transcribe right away, instead of trying to play a Jaco Pastorius solo or whatever, my first recommendation for you, if you want to learn to play bass solos, is learn simple melodies. And once you learn a simple melody, embellish it, like what I was doing with the Amazing Grace. Or I can do, right? So take simple melodies, really make them smooth, like butter, like you want it as smooth as possible. Like imagine you're breathing with a note. You would never breathe. You don't breathe that way. You breathe naturally. So just let the note breathe naturally as well. And don't do this excessive vibrato. Just hold the note down. Keep it simple. Hold the note, let it ring. Play the next note. Right? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Melodic motifs, taking your time, really getting a nice sound out of the bass. Alright, so I hope you get something out of this. And I'm sorry for the clickbait title. I hope I didn't disappoint. I just had to do what I had to do, you know. Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, do get in touch with me. Leave them below if you want. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in the shed. Peace.